to that.
Oh.
The Republicans have pulled an interesting trick on this. The Republicans now present themselves as the party of labor. And it's very interesting because they are the most anti-labor party in American history. Just take a look at the legislation, like the tax bill, red line. As I said, first time in a century that billionaires pay lower tax rates than steel workers. That's the party of labor, okay? But what they've done since Nixon is understandable. I mean, by the time of Nixon, the Republicans recognized they are they're both business parties, but they are the party more dedicated to the right to corporate power and the very rich. You can't approach people and say, vote for me, I'm in favor of smashing you in the face. Doesn't work somehow. So Nixon was the first to really understand that we've got to appeal to people on different grounds. It's the so-called Southern strategy.
Right.
We can be the racist party. We don't say the word racist, but we follow policies, so it's understood that we're basically a racist party. We can tap the white supremacy that runs deep in American society. The Democrats were supporting civil rights acts. Nixon realized it's open, not a secret, that we can win the Southern Democrats by opposing civil rights. Okay. You get to the mid-70s, Republican strategist Paul Weyrich realized that if the Republicans pretend, stress pretend, to be opposed to abortion, they can win the huge evangelical community and the Northern Catholic vote. They all switched on a dime. Reagan had been one of the big supporters of what we call pro-choice. George H.W. Bush, the same. All became anti-abortion. That's now a kind of a mantra of the party. Guns, all going to be in favor of guns. Anything except the economic issues. Turn to anything else, but not the actual economic issues, the ones we're pushing. And that's worked pretty well. They've been able to develop a kind of a dual constituency. Prime constituency is great wealth, corporate power, the one they work for. Then there's the voting base. The voting base is mobilized on so-called cultural issues. Yes, we'll stab you in the back, but you won't notice it because we're in favor of the issues that you like in your traditional practices and so on. You want to have a Christian nationalist community? Okay, we're for that, you know. But how long this scam can go on, I don't know. Trump was a master of it. He was a political genius. He could hold up a sign in one hand saying, I love you, I'm your savior. On the other hand, stab you in the back. That's a good trick. And he carried it off brilliantly. He now owns the party. The rest of the party's terrified of him. They have to go to Mar-a-Lago and shine his shoes, you know. But that's one of the reasons why people like, say, Martin Wolf of the Financial Times and others are very concerned about whether the United States is going to move to its, he calls it autocratic, others might call it proto-fascist system, which is that kind of thing. Mobilize the population on something else.